Hello, I'm Stephen Davis, and you're about to explore the wonderful world of theatrical makeup. So I'm ready to do my youth makeup. I have my worksheet. I have all the steps of what I'm going to do to each of the areas on the face. I have my breakdown of the character on the back. When doing the makeup for a youth character, we must understand the differences between the facial features of someone who was young and someone who was old. Statements like wide-eyed innocence is very helpful in us understanding the character. It is important that whenever you do a makeup that you attain morgue images to help you do your makeups. Images that are actually pictures. This is a picture of my daughter, and you can see the pug nose and the wide-eyed innocence that I spoke of. As she gets older, we can see certain features within the face, the chubby cheeks, the pug nose, the slight eye bags underneath the eyes, full lips, full chin that help to show youth. Family photos within your family can be very helpful, both if you have kids or pictures of your parents, and we can see differences between different ages and different genders. And now I'm going to get started on the application. The application method will be as follows. Number 1, highlight. 2, powdering over the highlight to be able to build it up. 3, cream base. 4, cream rouge to certain areas to give the warmth in the face. Number 5 is pug nose. And number 6 is lining the eyes, and 7 is any extra like painting on freckles. And then you might do a final powder. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my highlight color, and I'm going to do a skin-on-skin technique to different areas of my face that I'm going to be working with. What I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to use the highlight color in between the eyes to expand the area, giving myself the wide-eyed innocence. Working off of this, I'm working in plane 1 of the nose that I'm working with to get rid of the area of shadow in between the eyes. I'm working in my nasolabial folds, getting rid of that nasolabial fold area. I'm going to expand my forehead a little bit. I'm going to draw the eye, getting the supercilial arch, and expanding the forehead on the outsides, working on skin technique to go into the pores. Because of my wrinkles in my forehead, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to work on those a little bit and expand the area of any highlight into any shadow areas of the face. Okay, jawline area. Giving myself a little bit more of the appearance of the roundness of my cheeks. And I might even go in a little bit into my own infratemporal fossa, the area underneath my cheekbones. So there I am. Step 1, using the highlight skin-on-skin technique. Step 2, powder. I load my puff, and I fold the powder into the puff. And then I'm going to press into the areas that I've done the highlight on to allow those areas to become a little bit more set before I apply my base. Now, next step, cream base. I take the flat side of my sponge. Over the areas that I've applied the highlight, I go ahead and I stipple. I press the makeup, press the base into those areas of highlight. Over larger areas that I haven't applied the makeup, I can drag it down. But areas where I do have the highlight, I'm going to press and stipple the base in. Cream rouge. Skin-on-skin technique. And with the cream rouge, I'm going to put a little bit of this on the area above the eye. Going into the rosiness of the cheeks, filling in the area of the cheeks. Blending with my fingers. Fullness of the outside of the cheek as well. giving myself that warm, youthful glow. We're going to be working on the pug nose. As we saw from images, the pug nose is a very distinct quality with youth. It allows the nose to be shaped and a little bit more elevated, so we're going to need to encourage that with painting. I'm working with my shadow color. I paint my brush into my shadow color. And I don't go directly onto the face. I paint that onto the palette of my hand so that this is where I'm working off of. I can see a bit more of the true color in that. So I go into the pug. At this point, if I palpate, I can feel where the bone is kind of ending and the squishy part of the nose begins. My good friend of mine in college, Amy Farrell, used to do this all the time. Very relaxing. Palpate there. Yes, good. So we can feel that bone structure. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to pull the shadow color from that area on each side onto the plane of the face. Within the pug nose, I'm going to want to have the highlight into the area of the nose here. Encourage a little bit more highlight, layering the technique in between my eyes. I have very deep set eyes, so I need to be very careful with this because I need to make sure that I try to reduce the shadow in between my eyes as much as possible. And then with the pug nose, I want to shadow underneath the nose to encourage this upward kind of pug look so that it looks like the nose is kind of a little bit up. Okay. Okay. Now, line the eyes. 3/4 line out. And at this point I could powder. The extra application in terms of this makeup is to utilize freckles. Now I'm going to use a slightly different color than what I use for my shadow color for my pug nose. It's actually for Caucasian skin tone. It is cinnamon. I'm using character shadow for my shadow for the area around the nose for the pug nose. But the warmth of the cinnamon color is really going to make these pop. Now I have freckles. And I know that having freckles and spending time in the sun, they cluster together much larger. But for the stage, we want something that's going to be able to read from the stage to your audience. So I'm going to do clusters of 3. And maybe a 4th one. But that is going to help to read in terms of makeup for the stage. So I have them in those areas just to allow them to be seen. This can be close to age spotting for old age, but the reality is for a young, youthful makeup, this is what we're looking for. And for those final areas, we just might want to powder over top of them. And we're good to go.